Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Welcome to another evening of virtual talks with your councilwoman, Mary Estimé-Irvin. Some of you are my immediate neighbors. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and to see you again. So tonight we're going to have the pleasure of having a conversation with our Chief of Police, Larry Juriga, one that is well known to most of the community. It's very rare that someone doesn't know who our Chief of Police is. And we're going to have we're going to have a good time, but we're going to have a frank conversation. And and together we're going to figure it all out. So without further ado, I would like to again welcome all of you, but welcome Chief for joining us tonight, joining the residents that I know that you serve well.
Well, good evening, District 3. Good evening, Councilwoman. Thank you for having me on. I want to thank your staff for coordinating things. And our new Chief of Staff, Rochelle Lewis. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
It's a pleasure to be with you as always. And thanks for giving me a few minutes to meet with you this evening and discuss some concerns, some questions, any topics you want to bring up. And just if I can have a moment briefly, just as most of you know, our police department focuses on community engagement. We give special emphasis to the children of our community, as well as our seniors, so that we can provide the services and deal with any needs that they might have. Our peace officers, as I like to call our police officers, are committed to protecting everyone in our community and earning, not just demanding or not demanding, but earning the trust of our community members. And while you're traveling through District 3, you might see us out there in our vehicles. You might see us on our bicycles with our peace officer shirts. You might even see us in the canal in our small marine patrol boat. And today was one day we were out there. Some of our officers were out there on their horses. So certainly always wave to us, always come up to us so we can meet as many members of our community as possible. And fortunately, through our community partnership and some of our innovative crime prevention initiatives. Last year in 2020, we realized more than a 14% decrease in crime throughout the city. And that number goes all the way back to 1972 as being, that's how low it was when you have to go all the way back to 1972 to see numbers that low. So as you realize, that's almost a 50-year low in Part 1 crimes throughout the city of North Miami. And that's based on community involvement. Councilwoman, you call us when you see things that are happening. Many of your district members and people around the city are calling us when they see things. And when residents call us before something happens, when something looks out of place, that's how we're able to prevent crime from happening. So it's a tribute to you and your district members, as well as all the residents in the city who take the time to give us a call. And the community involvement, lower crime levels, that leads to a great amount of overall safety for our citizens and our community. And continuing on the crime, and I can stop anytime, or I can just keep telling you about different things. Continuing on
So Chief, let's just start here.
Sure.
Give us, you kind of gave us an overview of what policing is like in North Miami, but in particular to District 3. How has it been different during COVID? You know, what are some of the things that you have been doing during this pandemic time? How has police been a little different?
Certainly, just like everybody's lives have changed, our police department members' lives have changed, and our approach to policing has changed. Obviously, I'm here in the office by myself, so I don't have my mask on, but all of our officers since last March have been required to wear masks. And we've been out dealing with the community first by educating, because we want everybody to be educated. We want our residents to be educated, the business owners to be educated about all of the guidelines that have been established to keep everyone in the community safe and healthy. So education was our first step, but when needed, enforcement had to come into play in order for us to ensure compliance with businesses, compliance with residents when they're walking into businesses. And the goal for us is participatory compliance. That means we want everybody to be willing to comply with all the rules. We give the 3 basic rules that you've all heard a million times. wear your mask, watch your distance, and wash your hands. Those are the 3 rules we want everybody to comply with. I know the curfew has impacted some of the local businesses because we can't have people out late at night congregating, getting together like we used to do. And hopefully with the vaccines, we'll be able to move back towards normal. But I don't know that there's going to be anything we're dealing with in the near future, but this new normal. So we continue to push for people to get vaccines. I know some people are apprehensive about it, but we're encouraging everyone possible, please get the vaccine in order for us to progress with being healthy. So that's where some of the things have changed for us.
So you've mentioned curfew, Chief. What's the curfew now?
The current curfew for all of Miami-Dade County is 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Unless you're a first responder, unless you're somebody dealing with one of the pharmacies that must be open, a few of the exceptions, everybody should be at home from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m.
So, Chief, this leads me to this 12 a.m., 6 a.m. curfew leads me to a conversation that has become very sensitive in our district. And I know you and I have shared it privately, but publicly as we speak. Ironically, around the curfew time between the hours of 12 and 6 a.m., we are experiencing an extreme activities of speeding. I mean, I've had, look at the head shaking. I've had a couple of people even say to me, you know what, I want to move. Especially the owners that have corner lots, they're really concerned about their safety. I live on 2nd Avenue Northeast. Everyone knows that, 131st Street and 2nd Avenue Northeast. And I have speed bump on my street. And it's been there for a long time. So a lot of people are asking for speed bumps and we haven't had them there. They've been there for a long time and they're speeding through that. 2nd Avenue, we don't talk about it. On 10th Avenue, I actually have one of our residents here where we just recently had a really bad accident, which I'm sure you're aware of. And when I was conversing with her and her husband, they were afraid for me to even stand outside with them. And now you're starting to see residents that are experiencing anxiety. What is being done? What is your department doing to try to curtail this extreme speeding that is going throughout the county? I understand, but you know, I've been elected to serve the people of District 3, so I can only to speak for that and say, what are we doing for District 3? What are we doing for North Miami to curtail this or to catch these individuals? I'm gonna take a chance and say it out here. I've had a neighbor that said to me, there's a blue Dodge car driving through, you know, they've identified that. So what are we doing to catch those or to stop this behavior so that they know that this is not accepted here? Everybody, whenever they drive through Biscayne Park, Miami Shores, they slow down. Why are they not doing that in our city, Chief?
Okay, well, first and foremost, we share your concerns. You and I have had many conversations about it. I've had the conversations with many of your residents, and our men and women are out there doing their best to stop this. As you know, our officers try to educate, and even with COVID, we were trying the education approach with many people because people are being hit hard financially, and those traffic citations are costly. However, it's gotten to the point where we're writing citations. Last year, we wrote for a small city like North Miami, a relatively small city, we wrote over 6,000 traffic citations to people who were traveling through our city. This year, I believe we're over 1,500 already since January 1. And our officers work late at night. We heard the complaints about things happening after midnight. So just this past week, we had our traffic safety officers, which normally work strictly daytime hours because that's when the most traffic is. They worked in District 3 from midnight to 4 a.m., addressing the concerns that were brought to our attention from many of the residents there. Additionally, we work multi-agency task force, and it's a big way to say we partner up with our local agencies to stop speeding. Tomorrow just happens to be the next one in North Miami from 12p to 4p. We're going to have about 12.5 officers from other agencies that come in to do just what you're talking about, stop the traffic the traffic violators that are speeding through Northeast 2nd Avenue, North Miami Avenue, and then cutting through the residential areas.
10th Avenue, 5th Avenue.
Northeast 10th Avenue, 5th. No,
Northeast,
but
yes.
it's as you indicated, it's happening everywhere. It's happening all over. So we're doing our best to stop it in District 3 and in North Miami. We are having some success. I know speed bumps are desired by everyone. I wish we could put them on every roadway, every street, because people don't like to damage their vehicles going over those. And we had recent discussions with Miami-Dade County, and they're going to attempt to put them at 3 specific locations. One of them is Northeast 10th Avenue, and one of them happens to also be Northeast 2nd Avenue. And if we can get them in there, then we can start spreading them out throughout the city is our goal. So we're trying traffic calming besides enforcement. But the enforcement is the most significant way we can impact people to get their attention, is what we like to say. We don't want to write people, but we do need to get people's attention for these problems.
And, you know, I'm going to pause and say something that the chief always says: if you see something, say something. I've had, and I regret that he's not on the call, I've had individuals that was able to snap and take a picture of the tag, and I was able to send it to the chief. So if you're seeing anything, if you have your cell phone happen to, do it. But you know, if you don't want to send it, you send it to me, and I'll send it to the chief.
You could send it to me directly. I don't have a problem,
Yeah.
But I just want everybody to be cautious.
Yes.
We do have some residents. I love the involvement. I love the enthusiasm, but don't run out in the street with your dust broom yelling at them and then trying to take their tag. Let us know what you see, what your description is, and let us try to locate them. If you do get the tag discreetly, that's fine too. But we want everybody to stay safe. I don't want anybody running out in the roadway trying to get tags. So just be extra careful. But it's not just us that's working on this, Councilwoman. As you know, Public Works is helping us. Miami-Dade County is helping us try to get the traffic calming devices. So we're trying to hit it from a variety of angles, but the education factor is one of the big things. And if you see a car pulling in your neighbors that just did a donut or that just sped down the street, that's when we want you to call us, because these guys that are subleasing these cars, these race cars, and then doing donuts because they don't own the car and they don't care about the tires. Let us know if you see them pull in a neighbor's house. Let us know if you see them pull down a particular street a couple times, so then we can start going over there, and our officers are able to go make an investigatory stop or just a consensual stop. Hey, how you doing, partner? So.
Yes. So I would like to publicly thank Mayor Danielle Levine Cava, because we were at a gun buyback event, and I mentioned to her, hey, we need your help, because a lot of times one of the reasons we're unable to get speed bumps is because the county's not allowing it. And so I spoke with her I want the public to know this, within 24 to 48 hours, I was in contact with her office. 72 hours from that Sunday, I had a meeting, and Chief, you mentioned that there's going to be speed bumps on 2nd Avenue and on 10th Avenue. Do you have a time frame of when that could happen?
In speaking with the county, their staff, they were to get back with us within the next few days. So I'm expecting a call tomorrow or the next day to give us a thumbs up on the initial assessment, so that we can move quickly on it. And the police department, we're actually going to pay for it. Pay for the speed bumps and the installation, because it prevents traffic crashes and it makes the neighborhood safer. So we can say it's related to law enforcement, and because of that, we'll be able to get them in quickly, so we don't have to go through all the red tape of this company and that company and this organization. So we'll get it done quickly. And
so before we talk about other really cool things that the police department does, there's another sensitive topic that I must, and I know it's not popular for me to address it now, but I must address. I've lived in District 3 for nearly 7 years now. I've lived in North Miami for a long time, but in District 3 for 7 years. And I've not like Chief said, the crime rate here has been extremely low. But in the last couple of months, I have to say that there have been a couple of shootings. Chief, could you kind of explain that, please, and why that's happening, or give us the general public, tell us what that's happening, and should people, how should people, should they still feel safe in District 3 in the city of North Miami?
People should feel safe in the city, and in particular District 3. Just to give you a couple stats, robberies this year are down, in 2021 in your district, are down 87%. 87%. I mean, we keep checking the stats going, are you serious? Burglaries in your district are down 75% in 2021. I mean, these are very high numbers. And again, it's not just the police out there doing their job. It's you and your residents calling us when you see a car pull up in front of a house. That's not my neighbor's car. What are those people doing there? But I also like to think that it's the whole approach of our community working with our police department to prevent these things from happening. But specifically about the shootings, yes, a few weeks back, we did have multiple incidents happen within your district during a week or so. The big shooting incident that happened over off 132nd Street, about Northeast 5th Avenue, where multiple people were shot that night. One shooting is too many. When we have multiple shootings, it gets everybody's attention, and it certainly has our attention, and brings concern to us. And our officers and our detectives are doing everything we can to not only prevent them, but to investigate them when they do happen. Unfortunately, sometimes the people who are victimized or who are shot, sometimes they may be innocent, but sometimes they may not be completely not being involved with this. We've had cases, and some of the particular ones that we dealt with that week, we were picking up guns out of people's backyards and off the floor and under their cars when we're expecting them to be the victims, and we're getting guns from them. So we're doing our best to prevent, but also investigate the people who are involved in these. But overall, I should say everybody should feel safe in our city. A lot of people are concerned about what's going on, and we're doing our best to prevent it.
Thank you. And before I talk about any other thing, obviously this virtual talk was made to benefit you, the resident. So I believe there's a raise hand feature. So if anyone, no? Okay, but they can unmute themselves. Okay, so I'm sorry. So if someone has a question, if they would just go ahead and unmute themselves, if you wouldn't mind stating your name and the area that you live in, more or less, so that Chief has an understanding of what it is that you're addressing. Okay. And does anyone have a question or would like to a question for Chief or myself?
Yeah, I have a question. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Pam. I think I'm technically District 2. I'm not quite sure. Maybe between 2 and 3. I can't figure it out. Anyhow, I have a question for Chief Juriga regarding mail theft. I know it's a problem, and I get the notifications on my Ring doorbell, like it's happening. People are stealing not only packages, but they steal mail, especially certain time of the year because they're, trying to get people's information. So I just want to know, is there anything the police department can do about that? I know it's kind of a federal issue with the post office, but I know they're so swamped that they don't really do anything. So I was just wondering what your department is able to do.
I appreciate the question, Pam. Yes, that is a problem, especially around tax season and around the holidays. Tax season, we see the problems with the mailboxes, people actually going into the mailboxes, trying to get the tax return checks and additionally people's information so that they file. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Larry would steal, Mary's documents, and then I would file your taxes in an effort to get your tax refund sent back to me. You go to file your taxes and somebody's already filed them. So that's what the bad guys are trying to do by stealing information. The other thing that happens is when people get packages that are left on their front doorstep, and I'm sure everyone has seen that, whether on Ring camera or on other video cameras, and then somebody sees, they follow the FedEx truck or they follow the Amazon truck, and they see them drop something off and they run up to the front door, pick it up and take it. So our recommendation is to have it dropped off, have packages dropped off at a location, either your business or a location where somebody is always there, because it's enticing to bad guys if you leave packages sitting on your front doorstep. And some of the packages even come in. I just stopped by a resident, actually a District 3 resident the other day, stopped by his house, and he had a 42-inch flat screen TV that was delivered sitting on his front doorstep. So have them delivered either to your business. Amazon has drop boxes at different locations around the community, or have them delivered to a location where somebody's present. And the Ring doorbells, Pam, as you mentioned, those are extremely helpful to us, not only for those type of thefts, but any type of incident where we can see, rewind it back and see what had occurred. And sometimes the bad guys don't even realize it. They walk up, they pick up a couple boxes off the front step, they put their face right up to it for us, so we can identify them real easily.
But as far as the mail theft goes, how far can it be taken with the police department locally? Like, we can file a police report and then
You can follow,
prosecute?
we'll take the report for you, and then the postal police will get involved. As you indicated, sometimes it's a little slower process than a local department, but we can certainly facilitate that. And if you have something specific you want to get with me after, certainly reach out to me directly and we'll take care of it for you.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Pam. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Akila Passe, and I live right off of Northeast 10th Avenue. So I know, Chief, that you're really familiar with my area, and Councilwoman as well. So I do want to just thank both of you for listening and for, responding to our concerns, that we have in that area regarding the speeding and running the stop sign. I will say that I am very happy to hear that that the process of getting a speed bump is going to happen rather, quickly, due to the fact that you guys are going to bill, so to speak, because it is an issue, and it's really scary when our children's safety is involved. We don't even let our kids go outside anymore because we're so scared, or not even outside, like even in our yard, because the cars are coming through our fences. So, I am glad to hear that you guys are taking a look at this situation. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Akila.
much. Does anyone else want to say or have a question? Go ahead, Matthew.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, hello.
Okay. I just wanted to thank the chief for stopping by my house today and talking to my sons. I don't know if you can see it there. They came by with everybody. They had a great time. So I appreciate it, Chief. Thank you. And Mary, it was nice to meet you earlier this week. So yeah, I'm enjoying the conversation, and I hope the neighborhood can continue in the right direction.
Thank you.
You're Matthew and Christopher's dad.
Yep.
Oh, very nice to see you. Those are great boys, man. They are not only smart, but their artistic skills are phenomenal. Those pictures they drew were great.
Yeah, they're going to draw some more for you and drop them off. So they nice. Happy you like them. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
I'd also like to acknowledge, and I didn't do that earlier, our code enforcement interim director, Crystal Patterson, is also on the line. So I just wanted to acknowledge, thank you for being here. Also, so thank you again, Chief, for addressing, I know, some tough conversation, but I just wanted to be very transparent and let our residents know that even though there are issues overall, we're safe, but we still need to take take the precautions to get better at this every day, because I mean, even if, like you said, one life is hurt, it's one life too many. Congratulations on the newest addition to the PAL Center. Please tell us, share and tell us about that, Chief.
A couple things that are going on with our Police Athletic League, and we're right over off the building is off 123rd Street and West Dixie Highway.
In District 3, I want to say that.
There you go, in District 3. And we've really been fortunate to be able to partner with so many great organizations. Recently, we were dealing with Tua Tagliabue from the Miami Dolphins. He has a new foundation that he's established, and he selected 3 organizations from across the country. One in Hawaii, where he grew up, one at Alabama, where he attended college, and one in South Florida, where obviously he's with the Miami Dolphins. And we were very blessed that he picked the Police Athletic League of North Miami, made a considerable donation that'll help us continue our programs with our children. And additionally, we're working with mental health awareness and mental health therapists who are helping our children and the children's families deal with all of the pressures, all of the concerns from this unprecedented pandemic. And many people are, or at times people are afraid to talk about the need for mental health therapy. And what we always try to explain to people is, hey, if your arm hurts, you go see an orthopedic. If your heart hurts, you go see a cardiologist. So why not, if you have something that's bothering you inside emotionally, why not get that emotional help? It's not something bad. It's something that we all need to focus on and something that we all need to do. So that's what we're focusing on with our children, giving them strong minds through the homework help program, strong bodies through all our athletic programs, and then strong spirits through this mental health awareness that we're working on.
Thank you so much, Chief. I think we touched on a lot this evening. One of the really cool things that I love that the police department, our North Miami Police Department does is this monthly bike ride. So this Saturday, I'm challenging you to come out with the police department. Yes, it's early, Saturday morning at 8:30, Chief? 8:30 in the morning. To come out and with your families, and we have a great time. I went last month. I plan to attend this month. So bring your bikes, and your children can ride along as well. It's a very safe, it's a safe speed, so you don't have to worry about that with your kids. And I'll let Chief brag about it. Go ahead, Chief. Tell us about the ride on Saturday.
Certainly, as the councilwoman mentioned, we have it monthly. Second Saturday of each month, and this month it's on this Saturday, the 13th. If you meet right in front of the Mocha Plaza, which is between the police department and City Hall, 8:30, get there. It's best if your children are coming, if you bring their own bikes, but if you're an adult and you don't have a bike, we do have plenty of spare bicycles to share. So come on out, and it's engaging with officers, engaging with other community members and business owners, engaging with the councilwoman and other city staff. And then we get to stop at a couple locations. This time we're going to stop at Enchanted Forest. We have snacks and drinks there. And then we'll also stop at Chen Medical Center, and they'll have snacks and drinks there. And you really get a different perspective of our beautiful city and all the different things that are going on as you're riding your bike. Most of the time we're driving with our windows up in our cars with the music on, and you don't get to see all the great sights and sounds that are happening throughout North Miami. So if you're able to, please join us. Really a slow pace. Our officers keep you safe, but it's a real good time. We're done in about 90 minutes.
Yes, thank you so much, Chief. And it's a great family event. It's a good for your health. So I encourage you guys to come out Saturday. Join me, please, along, and Councilwoman Keys from District 2 is one that really spearheaded this, or spearheads this, along with the police department. So come out and join. We're going to have a good time. Tomorrow, we're going to also, while I have your attention, we're going to have another virtual talk. And this time we're going to talk about our children in the public school system and going through COVID. So I hope that you tune in tomorrow as well at 6:30 with Dr. Steve Gallen. He is the school board member that represents this area. So who better to tell us about what's going on and how we can, how it affects, how the pandemic has been affecting the life of our parents and our students, and what we can do better. And hopefully you can learn from that as well. And last but not least, we are having what a lot of you have requested, to have a drive-in movie, our second drive-in movie. At the same place. It's going to be at Cagney Park. Hopefully Chief will be there or sneak in there, but we'll definitely be protected by his officers. But we'll have, we're going to have a drive-in movie, and it's going to be Black Panther. Some of you have watched it before, but the whole point is to come out and to do a family event and with the kids, and the parks are not really open right now. And so we had it last month and it was great. The families were able to, we even had the cars in a social distance way outside. So if family wanted to like come outside of their cars nearby and still watch the movies, they were able to bring a blanket and all that in that area and watch the movie in a very COVID conscious style. So I hope that I see all of you and you spread the word to your neighbors that are not on this virtual talk. Tomorrow, on Saturday, gates open at 5. There's going to be food trucks available so that you can purchase while you watch the movie. And so that's all that I have to tell you tonight. Again, I want to thank you, Chief, and if you had any last words that you'd like to share, or if it seems like everyone already asked the questions and shared their concerns. But if you have any last words for the residents of District 3.
Can I ask one real quick question again? I'm sorry.
Pam, go ahead.
No, you already got one. You only get one per person.
Go ahead, Pam.
It's just about the bike ride. So because I usually do it. Unfortunately, my work schedule hasn't allowed me to do it in a while, but I'm curious. So with COVID, are you guys doing masked rides now?
You'll see all the officers wear them, and many of the residents wear them.
Yeah.
On occasion, I do see some of that when we stop, everyone has them, but I do see some people when they're riding, they do pull it down by their nose so they can breathe better.
Okay.
But everybody during the initial meeting, during the stops, and all of the officers have their masks on.
What's the situation in the city now with masks?
It's still.
Are you there, Pam?
It's still
I'm here.
required.
Oh, Chief, you were breaking up.
I'm sorry, masks are still required inside all locations. If you're exercising by yourself and you are able to socially distance, you do not have to have it on. But if you're with anybody in a group, you need to have it on.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam, for your question. Any last word, Chief?
Just appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak with our community, with District 3, and it's truly a partnership. The police department, the community, all the staff members that you see on, and you and your crew, we all work together, and continuing to work together, we're going to keep North Miami safe.
Thank you. And again, thank you all for being here for virtual talks with your councilwoman. Really appreciate that. As you know, I'm a phone call, an email away. I can be emailed at district3@northmiamifl.gov, or you can call me on the cell, call or text 305-788-2592. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you to all the staff that work so diligently to serve the residents that I love and care about. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. And until the next time, well, hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow, and invite more of your neighbors to attend. It's going to be a great topic.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Chief Juriga.